Everyone, Rob here. We're going live. Can't wait. Just gonna wait for everyone to come in, and then we'll start. I think I'm on the right product. All right, perfect. Give me a thumbs up as you're coming in. This way I know who's entered and who's not, and then we can start rolling. I'll give everybody about, we'll do about 20-30 seconds of this, and then we can get started. I'm excited about this. It's going to be awesome. Hey Diane, how are you? I'm just going to drink some water. Sarah, great to see you. Sorry for the sterile environment, but this is how I do. This is kind of how I do things. Like when we're talking to our team, most of the time, normally I have an easel that we work with. It's a lot easier to do that. Here, I'm going to just have my daughter check for any questions, if there's any questions along the way. Hi, everyone. It's great to see everyone coming in. Wow, it's a lot of viewers. Like butterflies. Joseph, good to see you. So we'll just do a little bit. Gonna ramble, I'll ramble a little bit about what we're going to be doing today, of course. Just going to be talking a little bit about myself, talking a little bit about Monat and what Monat really is all about to me, and what it's done for me, and what it's done for my family, and everybody else that's been part of my Monat family also. So it's been a real amazing journey, if I can say it any less. I mean, that's the best way I can say it. It's been the best journey of my life so far. So we'll just wait a little bit longer, and then we'll just kick in, and then we'll get going. It's good to see everyone. I'll say before everyone gets in, I'm deeply honored and really thankful that I'm able, hi Jennifer, good to see you, to be able to communicate and speak a little bit from the heart to my Monat family that I haven't seen yet. I mean, I'll ramble a little bit about, my first introduction to Monat in a big way was the international event, where here we are. I go there and I'm expecting something totally different, but what happened was I go there and there's 1,600 people, and out of the 1,600 people, I swear we were only about 10 men. And it was a little bit more than 10 men, but what's interesting is it was so many women in one room. It's like I've never seen that. And being involved in the hair industry, I see a lot of hairstylists that are women, but also we have the equal amount of that are men. So it was pretty unique to see that. But and I'll talk about that as we go on a little bit. Hi everyone, as you're coming in, it's great to see everyone. See a lot of people coming in. It's very exciting. Okay, so I'll just give one more minute, and then we'll get started. I'll drink some water, and then we'll kick in. I'm glad to see everybody. I want to commend everybody that's on this, that's on it right now, and anybody who's going to watch it. I want to commend you because you believe in yourself to be here right now. Here we are. We're at 10 o'clock on Toronto time, 9 o'clock Central time. And for anybody that actually comes on, like I always say when they come on live, I have to commend you because you're believing in who you are to be here. And I think that's the most incredible thing that can ever happen. I mean, once you've taken on you've taken on the Monat as a company. So, but now you've taken it on from the heart, and the heart is pushing you through, and the heart is bringing you to where you are right now. Okay, so we'll talk a little bit about that. But before that, let's get into who I am. My name is Robert Debartolo. I'm involved with Monat. I'm a Monat partner, market partner. A little bit about myself. I've been 30 years in the hair profession. One thing about me in the hair profession, I got to do a little bit of a typo correction. In the note, it said that I worked 30 years with L'Oreal. Not correct at all. I worked 30 years in the profession, and I'll give you the companies that I worked with. I've worked with every major manufacturer. I've worked with from Farouk Systems, which is now Chi, Artec, L'Oreal for 13 years, came on, Schwarzkopf, Wella, pretty much every one of those companies I've worked with. And I've worked in the interim, I started out as a platform artist, and the platform artist, what we do is we went on stage and we literally made people believe in the product that we were talking about at that moment. So what we would do is share with everyone, so that this way they believe in what we had to say and what we had as far as goods and product to put them into the salons, to get them into the salons. And then over the years of working, what happens is you start building credibility amongst your peers and your group, and what ends up happening is you start taking a different lead role. So I was put in a lead role where I started becoming artistic. I was artistic directors for quite a few of those companies. Where, hello Washington, hello Washington. Where as artistic director, what do? You go and you talk to your team, and you make your team go out there and you make them believe in what you have, and you basically are training them on everything we had to do, and we put them on stage, and the team goes out there, and long and short of it, what we were trying to do is get our product into the salons, okay? Now, the reason why I say that, I gotta tell you that, I need you to understand my background, and in that background, you'll understand when I came to Monat, it was from a place of real skepticism. I'm going to be very honest. I came on, someone brought it to me, and I was like, I don't know. Come on. I wasn't one of those people that, I've been watching a lot of the videos of people that are, live feeds of people that have come into Monat and have taken it and run with it. I wasn't that guy. Now, not to say that I'm not that guy now, but I wasn't that guy initially. And I'll explain why. Because when you come from a place of working with product lines and seeing every single different type of juice in a bottle that we were pushing out, anything that comes at you, you'd be like, please, I don't even want to see it. But what happened was that the results didn't lie. You see, the results didn't lie, and that's what got me. It wasn't the business end yet initially, it was the results. So what happened was that my client brings me this product, and I said, please, don't bother me with it. But she forced me to use it, and I say thanks. I thank her every day for forcing me to use that product on her, and I'll tell you why. Because her results, I will post them on the site. I'll show you her results. What happened with her results were so uncanny and so amazing that when a product yells at you that loudly, you have to start listening. You have to start really taking it seriously. So what happened? I end up, Jennifer Caldwell, which I love dearly, she is part of my whole life and my family. I can honestly say that I want to thank her every day for the opportunity that she bestowed on me. I spoke to Jennifer Caldwell. Jennifer Caldwell then talked to me about the product. I was a little bit skeptical again, like I said initially. I took on the product, and I'll tell you, in the intern, I brought it on, and for the first 6 months, I tried to prove it wrong. I really did. But I couldn't prove it wrong, because every time I used it, the results did not lie. So what ended up happening was that working with it, after 6 months, I finally woke up to the opportunity, okay? Because Monat is, yes, hair care, but it's also an opportunity. And I woke up to the opportunity. The opportunity was the business end of Monat. Once I started, talking to customers and getting my VIP customers, I started feeling really, charged, a little bit charged. And then what happened is I started getting into the thought process of having some friends alongside me, where I have my market partners, as we call them, MPs, but they were friends that were alongside me, and family members as they came alongside me. Once I started doing that, all of a sudden the opportunity opened up that you cannot deny what Monat can do for you. You cannot deny what it can do for your family. You cannot deny what it can do financially, and what it can do also in personal growth. Okay, so let me tell you a little bit about Monat. So you know a little bit about me and how it worked that way and how I got started. Basically, it was a slow start for me. So for those of you who are still on the fence out there, and for those of you who were on the fence, you'll understand where I'm coming from. Yes, there's gonna be some skepticism in the beginning, because you can't believe that a product can do what it does. This product can do what it does, but it does. And yes, there'll be some skepticism of, can it work for me? Yes, it can, because if it works for me, and I tell you, this is a bald man selling hair care we're talking about here. If it works for me, it could work for anybody. I'll tell you that straight up. And there's going to be that skepticism of, I don't know, what are my friends going to say? Am I a hairstylist? Woo! And, you know, we'll talk. And at the end of the day, who cares what your friends say? It doesn't matter. I used to care in the beginning. I don't really give a rat's about what people think, and because they don't know. What they don't know, they don't know. So they don't know what the possibility is right now. Until they see the possibility with their own eyes and they see the growth, they can't make a decision that way. And it's okay. It's okay. That's all right. Okay? So so the skepticism is going to be there, and don't worry about it. So for those of you who are seeing it for the first time, bear with me. You're going to understand it the same way I did, and you're going to get exactly what you need from Monat. One thing about Monat, let's talk about it. I'll talk about it in a little bit of the way I know hair care. Okay, what do we do with Monat? We share the opportunity and we share the hair care. The hair care, what does it do? The hair care is pretty straight up. We cover up every single aspect that hair is necessary. Every company does that, but every company has, you know, if I can just touch a little bit about other companies, they all cover different volumes and curly hairlines and all that. One thing that Monat did is they tightened it up, and they made it so amazing that they did this. We have a hydration system to do what? To take care of hydrating problem. Curly hair, color treated hair, any hair that needs hydration. What do? We can infuse it with a Rejuvenate oil, you can get into that. You know, those are little technical little things that can happen. But you can, so we have a hydration system. We have a volume line. Volume line says it straight up. It's for anybody that needs volume. One thing about volume line, if you allow me to speak a little bit about volume line. One thing, for those of you who are in the profession or in Monat to date, you want to make sure that the volume line is not for those people that have color treated that need volume hair. You want to make sure that you prescribe volume properly. Okay, so you're going to use it for those customers that are going to have natural flat hair, not too much color in it, that just every now and then need some volume. That's the people for volume. I just wanted to throw that at you, but that's just a little tidbit from a hairstylist perspective. Okay, so we have let me go recap. Hydration line, we have a volume line, and we have 2 grow-it systems. Now, one grow-it system was the Monat Black, which was created initially it was created just for men's hair. It was a 2-in-1 shampoo, and and we have, of course, the treatments that come with it. But the Monat Black is created for men's growing system. It has the most amounts of Capixyl within the product, and we'll talk about Capixyl in a bit. And so that's the Monat Black. And then they have the Intense Repair system. Now, as hairstylists, we used to look at Intense Repair and we'll say yes. Oh, Intense Repair. Okay, it must repair all hair types. And it must repair just hair. We always think hair. We're not thinking scalp and follicle. Where Intense Repair is used from Monat is at the scalp level. Basically, it's allowing us to grow hair at the scalp. So we're intense repairing the scalp, not the hair. If you want intense repair on the hair or intense conditioning, you go to your hydrating. But anyways, we'll talk about that after. So we have hydration, volume, and 2 grow-it system, intense repair, and Monat Black. So what it'll do, those are the 4 systems that we have that work on the hair. And then of course we have the styling aspect of the line, which is the sprays and everything like that. For those of you who are just looking at this for the first time, talk to the person who invited you to watch what we're doing right now, and they will explain all those lines, all the products to you. But as far as what we have, those are the lines. It's pretty tight. No other hair care line is that tightly placed, where we can go out and say, here we have, you don't have to go recommend an entire shelf of product. You're recommending specific to the person, and it works amazing. What does Monat do? We grow hair. Unlike any other product line out there that I've ever used, Monat grows hair. And that's what caught me, And that's what's catching everybody. What's happened is any wine and wash that we've ever done, as I travel abroad now, because all of a sudden now I find myself traveling more than I ever did. In a wine and wash, every time we use the product on someone, okay, we'll be washing their hair, and anytime I use the product on them, they buy the product. It's unlike any other company I've ever worked with. Most of the time we're talking till our mouth is dry to try to get someone convinced to take the product on. But in this case, I use the product on their hair, Monat, and what happens is we almost have an unfair advantage. Why? Because as soon as we put the product on the hair, if they don't use it again, their hair will never feel the same again. So their hair looks beautiful after we use Monat, and if they don't buy it, they're going back to crappy hair. And unfortunately, you know, like I did work for some major, all the major manufacturers, but you know, some companies that had some really high-end products. One being Stylists, one being Shuromura. And when we talk about those lines, we're talking about lines that are, you know, we're spending a lot of money. We're spending $70 a shampoo and $70 a conditioner. Where when you put it on, you're supposed to, we were thinking that, hey, we're going to put this stuff on, the hair is going to be cured and everything like that, blah, 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 blah. No, it doesn't happen. I'll tell you why. Because my wife is my biggest test, you know, if you get the lab rat, she's not a rat by no means, I don't mean it that way, but she's my best test subject. Why? Because I use everything on her. And if it doesn't work on her, right, it doesn't work. Because her hair is curly, very curly, it's color treated, so it's got the best of all the worst worlds. So in other words, it's dry hair and it's color treated dry hair. So anytime I mean, we've used products from everywhere until we got to Monat. Once I used Monat on her, she was the person that said, you know what, we got to take this thing really serious. Because it worked. We grew her hair from her shoulders where she wasn't able to grow it to the middle of her back. Her hair looks stunning. One day you will see her at an event, of course. And so I just wanted to share that with you. But now, one thing that Monat is, though, is, and I call it this, they said it at the international event, and I really believe this, and I didn't understand it then, but I understand it now. It is a cross-ethnicity line. Why? Because you could take Monat and use it on from every ethnicity. You can use the product, and it's amazing. Every other company has to have, or I know why they do it, but they'll create a line for ethnic hair and a line for Caucasian hair. They don't have to do that, but that's what they do. We didn't do that, and that's okay. So we're on the Monat wagon now. We're on the Monat train, and the thing is with Monat, not only is the product doing everything that I'm saying it's doing, but now the opportunity of Monat takes us where we can literally live a life that we haven't lived before. So I'll explain. When I made the decision to be part of it, one of the deciding factors were, yes, it was the product working beautiful. But when you look at it from a hairstylist perspective, and I'm just talking to hairstylists now, but I'm going to talk to people who aren't hairstylists to make you understand that you don't have to be a hairstylist to do what we're doing here. You don't have to. The highest paid person in the company is a non-hairstylist. So that says a lot about the opportunity, okay? So as a hairstylist, here we are, we sit behind a chair, we work 30 years of our lives, okay? I gave 30 years of my life to the companies, and after 30 years, where are we at? We're at the same place, maybe a better life, but still living hand to mouth at the better life. Because if these things something were to happen to these, the game is over. Meaning I'd have to downsize everything. So what happens also as a hairstylist, which is so amazing, we don't get a pension. We don't have anything. It's not so amazing at all. So, but what Monat has allowed us to do, this is okay, let me retract a bit. Working in a salon for multiple years, owning multiple salons, and then working in salons from, let's say, in a salon atmosphere when you have to sell product and what do you make on it? Zero. Absolute zero. Now, the one great thing about Monat is as you sell the product, 0 is not the number you're making. You can build up a fortune if you choose to. Everybody joins Monat for different reasons. There's some people that join it just to make a couple of dollars here and there. There's some people that join Monat to own the planes and automobiles. Everybody has a goal. And if I can just say a little bit, if you have a goal, keep that goal planted in your mind. I normally, like in my office, I'll have an easel of all my goals set up on the easel. And what we do every morning and every night, I'll look at those goals and I'll say, okay, I'm working towards that. And will Monat allow me to? Yes, it will. Why? Because the opportunity is that great. It really is that great. Monat was created, I just wanted to tell you a little bit about the founders of it. The family is called the Ardena family. They started out in Venezuela. They had the same vision as everybody else does, in a bigger scale than probably everybody else does. And they started in Venezuela. They have a sister company that works, it's not hair care based, it's skincare based. It's in South America. So they know what they're doing, right? When it comes to this type of business in direct sales. Then what they did is they took the business and they decided to create a hair care only direct sales out of Miami, Florida. And here we are, the first year. This was really impressive to me because I'm a numbers guy this way. In the first year, they projected to do $1 million in sales. And for any hair care company, you think $1 million in sales, hey, that's pretty good, What they did is they came out of the first year in $25 million. That's something that, with working for other hair care companies, we only dreamt about that stuff. We only dreamt about it. And then what happens is, second year, they want to go and duplicate, the 25 million, and they're up at $75 million in sales. Okay? And then the third year, here we are, we're coming into our third year, will we be over the 100 million, sorry. There is no question we'll be over the 100 million. And I'll tell you why. Because the product grows hair. And we always said it, we always joked about it in the profession, still in the profession, we always joke that if the product was to ever grow hair, they'd be $1 billion company overnight. Are we heading for $1 billion? There's no question we are. There's no question Monat would be $1 billion company. If a company like Nioxin could be a $1 million company and they're literally like, there's no question that Monat will be $1 billion company. Just where are we going to be in that billion? Where do you want to be? How much of that piece of the pie do you want? You can have a little piece, and I'll tell you, when it comes to goal setting, whatever that goal you set, if it's a $200 goal or a $4,000 goal, whatever it is, multiply that by 100. Times 100. And that, you're going to work for that. Do not work, because sometimes we don't give ourselves enough credit for what we're capable of. You see, what we do is we downplay who we are. We downplay who we are as humans. And all you have to do is, if you want what you want at a Monat, then you go get it. And trust in you. Trust in who you are. Don't trust in anybody else but who you are. Do not listen to everybody else around you, because it's not their dream. It can't come from, it's not their dream. It's yours. Okay? Now, for those of you who are not hairstylists, okay, I gotta speak to you because you think this is a hairstylist ranting on hairstylist. No, absolutely not. What I love most about this particular business is, or this particular company is this. My wife and I do the business together, okay? I see a side of Monat through her that has nothing to do with hairstyling, which I love, and it almost is more tantalizing than the hair part of it. Why? Because she sees the beauty of it and the family aspect of it, the business side of it, and I am the guy that kind of enforces with my talent of doing hair. So for anybody who's non-hairstylist, all you have to do, if you're here right now with us right now, and you see this opportunity for the first time, okay, and I'm speaking directly to you, all you have to do is this, okay? You learn a few little tricks that you already know how to do with your hair. You bring that tool with you to every wind and wash you do, and you play around with the hair the way you know how to play hair. Share the opportunity, share the product, You cannot go wrong. And all you can do is every time you share that opportunity in the product, if someone says yes, bonus. If someone says no, it's not no forever. It's just no at that moment. Okay? So if you're on the fence, I can assure you this right now. Take a leap of faith in yourself. It's in yourself. It has nothing to do with anybody else. You take that leap of faith in yourself. And I'll tell you why. Because when you do, it'll be the game changer for you. I tell you that. Because it's done that for me. I went from being someone sitting behind the chair and always feeling like a servant. I really, 30 years and I love my craft, but I felt like a servant. I still do at times, but I changed now. Now I do hairdressing as a hobby. It's like a hobby. I go in, if I don't like someone, if I don't have gel with that person in my chair, it's over. The relationship is done. I move on. Why? Because Monat gave me the opportunity to be able to do that. Okay? So, from me, from the bottom of my heart, I'm just saying, is there a better way? Yeah, we have it. Yeah. Monat has the better way. It is amazing. It's the only hair care company, direct sales hair care company in the world. And I mean, we're only in North America right now, but I'll tell you, I know that they have to be going worldwide. And all we have to do is take a little chunk of it, go in, all heart, go in with the belief in yourself to say, I can do it. Go in with knowing that the company's got solid background. I mean, they got deep pockets. Everything is paid for. We don't have to worry about the company going bust or anything like that. And all we have to do is go in and just say, you know what? For myself, when I look at myself in the mirror, I say, Rob, you can do it. I know you can do it. I know you can do it today, and I know you're going to go out there and really make it happen. And everybody, I got Deb, I got Crystal, you guys can do it too. Everybody can do this business. It's that easy, okay? So I hope I covered every aspect that I was supposed to within the product. Give me a thumbs up if you think so. If you have any questions, I'll open it up to like a couple of minutes of just questions. Just give them to me, and I'll be able to answer a few questions in a few minutes, and then we can do that. But I thank you. Yes, I know everyone's thanking me right now, and I thank you guys. Believe me, from the bottom of my heart. I don't know everybody out there right now. I hope to meet you all at an event, and I'm honored to be part of your family. Even though I don't know who you guys are, but we are all part of Monation. I'm really, really honored to be part of that family. And I thank you for embracing me as that. And to Jennifer Caldwell, Jennifer, I can't thank you enough for everything you've done to me, for me. Not to me, truth, but for me. I thank you very much for that. Okay, so thank you, and we'll see you at an event. I would love to be able to speak again one day. Let me know. I'm all in, okay?